What's up everybody? Today I'll be showing you the build I cooked up in Season 2. This is gonna be Hammer of the Ancients and Double Swing, aka 2 core skills right there. This is a little showcase on how it works on bosses. This trending out dummy is bosses. Literal that, so I don't have enough mats to show you all the bosses, so because I'm playing on hardcore. Actually I already raped 2 times, whatever. But anyways, I do have Shaco, I do have Starless Skies, but you don't need any of these. I actually do have 2 Shacos, but anyways, you don't need any of these. I'll show you what you use instead of that. And it's pretty insane. As you just could see right there, I crit for 132 million with HotA, which is not bad at all. By this time, I mean, all it takes, Grigor is like, I think, like 80 million HP, so it will be one shot. Most of these bosses will be one shot, almost even Duriel. And the amount of attack speed, we can reach up to 130%, 132 to be exact, I believe. You can see the stats right there. I like the double swing for the berserk uptime. That's my favorite thing. And let's just get straight into it. This is, by the way, the new thing they added in the patch today, which is the seller in Kiowa shot, training rounds, the dummy. You go over to this configuration and you can put in boss or single, which is like open world, I believe. Dungeon elite, normal. But anyways, the skill tree we have right now, this is boss's build. You would change only a couple of things to make it work for Nightmare Dungeons. But basic skill, we ignore that, we don't need it, but we still need 2 points to unlock core skill. Core skill, maxed out HotA, maxed out double swing. You want to go for each, point of fury, dealing more damage. I was also trying this one, 30% more damage, 5 seconds, which would buff more double swing, so it's kind of up to you. You can go for max fury stacking with Ramaladni in your dual wheel. That's what I wanted to try as a second build. And Warbringer Paragon, which I don't have. Next up, we got Iron Skin for Fortify. This is good for in armor dungeons to drop those dead poison, like in Circle Caverns and whatnot. Good for survivability, but it also gives you Unstoppable and DR if you have the aspect for it, which we don't run right now because we don't need it for bosses, but for Nightmare Dungeons, I'll probably take that. Challenging Shout for more survivability, but also max HP, and Overpower does scale from max life. It even says right there. If you can see it right there in this the third line or second line, the second point. So we also get more fury if you take damage. Next up, we got Warcry. We take this Fortify. You don't even have to do it, but on bosses, for example, you don't have enough time to build Fortify, so you could do it with Rallying Cry instead. But there is one thing I don't like Rallying Cry. So basically, our generator mainly is from Thibault's Will, these unique pants that drop from Duriel. Pretty high chance to get those. When you're unstoppable, we get primary resource, and this gets amplified by resource generation. And since Rallying Cry Unstoppable lasts longer for like 7 seconds, 7.4, it kind of messes up our dodging, because when we dodge, we have non-stop Unstoppable thanks to this Vampiric Power for 4 seconds. So every 4 seconds, you are able to get, in my case, it is, let's see, 98, 97 Fury every 4 seconds. Depends on the implicit you have, of course, but if you attack, you have cooldown reduction, so I like this implicit. The best one is obviously max charges for evade. I don't have it. Anyways, back to the tree. We go for, Booming Voice to have our Warcry last longer. Same with Challenging Shout. We get some sustain for heal. Movement speed, since we have Vampiric Power that scales from movement speed right here, which is Ravenous. I love this stuff. Right now it gives me 52% attack speed, which is also outside of attack speed cap. That's why, like, normally attack speed cap is at 100%, but things like this doesn't go into the cap. Same with Rapture attack speed, same with accelerating on two-hander. That's why we use it here. As you can see, this bad boy right here, the aspect itself and Ravenous gives us like over 100%, which is just mad. We go with the damage reduction while berserking, pairs super well with our Ire Glyph. That has 10% DR from, or while berserking. I believe I have it in here. Sorry, that was Marshall. I was testing some combinations when it comes to glyphs. This one right here, 10% from elites. Combined with this one, pretty good stuff. You would obviously want to max it out for Nightmare Dungeons. Same goes for God Yell. This is amazing for Nightmare Dungeons. So you would want to put points away from. I would put points away from Brute Force and Heavy Handed, and put them in the Garaliel. I would even put the DR from Elite. This is also very useful since they buffed it. Next up, we have Vallop, which gives damage to our, actually both Double Swing and HotA, because HotA is 200 mace, and Double Swing is one-handed, one mace. You want to have one, definitely. And then sword as Advent for the implicit, but also for the expertise gives us attack speed when you kill a CC'd enemy. The enemy is also always under some kind of CC, either be it like a stun, or you can even put take slow. Where is it? Right here. Slow from like bleeding. You can go with hamstring. You can put berserk ripping on gear. You can put 200 sword as technique. We are using we are using the 200 mace for damage to vulnerable. So that's one thing right there. We go with heavy-handed for crit damage. This is pretty good. Even after they nerfed crit damage, I still find it's pretty valuable. Then we have brute force for more overpower damage with 200 weapon. That's why we could crit force so high with HotA. And not even maxed out in max fury, which is crazy with the board. We go right to the berserker. Great stuff. Unstoppable for 5 seconds, so it doesn't really interfere with our generator. We go with weapon swap because that's our generator as well. It helps. That's why we are able to sustain unbridled range, and you're not required to rerun Starless Sky, which helps a lot with that. Because before, what I was running with was this one, but I had Bold Chieftain as an aspect on the ring. But these are the affixes or the perks you want to focus on. I would want to go damage while berserking instead of crit damage, and then it would be top notch. It would be perfect with that. I'm not running any health on rings, so I would be able to reach over 20,000, but I don't have it right now. But this is the one you want to go for. Bold Chieftain is a second aspect because we're using the Unrelenting Fury, which is our another generator. If we hit boss, we get full refund. Not sure if it works on the Trace Training Dummy, but on bosses, I mean, this rotation you saw at the beginning of the video, and there's no boss in this game that would survive that long. No boss. Not even Butcher and Tier 100 Nightmare, which I still haven't been able to get. But these were the talent points, or the skill tree. Vampiric Powers, we are going for the Ravenous attack speed like I showed you. Procs very often because we double swing procs 2 hits from 1 skill. Even better chance to proc Ravenous. We go for Prayer on the Weak. This is our vulnerable. Just dash through it and just, you know, start the rotation after that. Next up, we have the Blood Boil, which is guaranteed overpower every 20 seconds. Amazing stuff. These volatile blood drops, not the bad damage on trash mobs. Metamorphosis, one of the most important Vampiric Powers for non-stop unstoppable. And then we go with Sanguine Brace. This one is optional, but I like the crit chance. Obviously on bosses, you might not even have time to proc this. So you could force something else. I can't really think of that would anything would help you to be able to, like, you know, match these things up top. You could go for this, no boss would survive this longer either. Resilience. Even for, you could go for Hemomancy, you can go for these for Nightmare Dungeons, that is. And anything else, these are ultimates, you cannot really proc more than 2, I think, because it takes too many packs. Oh, there we go, it's packed. So, it's up to you, that last slot. Paragon Board. Show you the first one, we're rocking with Marshall. We're rocking 2 shouts. I like the bonus to magic notes, I'm a big fan of that. So, 2 stats and armor, that's some good stuff, dexterity as well. We went this route for armor and HP. Second board is Weapon Master. You want to first focus on the glyph here. We go with Dominate to another guarantee proc of Overpower. So far we have 3. We have this one, we have the Vampiric Power. And then we have a Paragon Glyph, actually. I mean, we have this aspect, excuse me. If you weapon swap. And then we have another one for here if you spend Fury. Primary resource, that's why we go with Unbridled Range. So we proc this fairly often. This is 70 and 50 and 120. Couple of rotations, you proc this very often. So this is our board. Third board, we go over to Carnage. I didn't really go for this attack speed. As far as I know, this also does not account for attack speed cap. But this is important for the damage while berserking and damage to elites. Here you want to go with... So here, to maximize your damage while berserking, which is something you want, you would put like ambidextrous, which is buffing your magic nodes by... where is it? I think it was here. Yeah, you would want this one on this node to proc damage while berserking. But I'm just testing it because of DR. I believe I had it because of Nightmare Dungeons. So also had it to buff overpower damage. So it kind of depends what's your goal on the build. I was more specializing on the overpower. But Mortal Draw, we swap weapons back and forth, left click, right click, always. So this is proccing non-stop. Both damage increase and the crit chance. And yeah, I went for DRs here for 3. This was too far. This was min-max board for 6 boards with 6 glyphs. Fourth board, we go for Blood Rage. This is the first thing I'm gonna go for because it gives you bonus to, you know, while berserking. And since this is multiplicative now, not additive as before, it's much more powerful. Glyph, we go with Ire, damage while berserking. I know a lot of barbarians have this one maxed out for 75 out of 40 strength. They put it in the beginning board here, but I just put it here. I min-maxed literally the points once again for 6 boards, for 6 glyphs. From here, I believe I went for Bonebreaker for another guaranteed overpower. There is the another guaranteed. I forget about it. Or I couldn't find the words for it. Next glyph, you go with Ambidextrous, like I mentioned, for DRs, but also overpower buff. I love these nodes here, max life and armor. Once again, max life, you know, overpower skills from that. So we go for a Bonebreaker, and we like this one. 45 generation and DR, I like it. We then immediately go for a Weapon Master swap. If you're leveling, this build is more for endgame, for bosses, literal bosses. So that's why early on you would want to get this as fast as possible if you're doing 2-core skill. But yeah, we need like kind of itemization for this setup. I went for some extra resistance and armor since it was 1 point and it's a rare one. So that's, you know, it's like 4 nodes in one almost. And the last board, we went for Decimator. We are both vulnerable and overpowering enemies, so that's some good damage increase. Last glyph, we went for Wrath because of the, you know, skills that critical strike generate fury. Also gets amplified by resource generation, good stuff. And also the vulnerable damage here, not too bad. But also DR, we are missing 1 point here, but it is what it is. So that was the Paragon board. We are going over the gear. So we got, anyone Shaco? I was shot. This was tradable. We got Shaco here. Once again, you don't need this. You can just put any normal headpiece with max life, armor increase, damage while berserking, max fury even, or all stats, cooldown reduction, up to you. Just like this Shaco, except resource generation. And aspect on this one, you would want to get Iron Skin, I would say, because of Nightmare Dungeons, and it will replace this DR the Shaco has. Or this one is very good, while berserking is very good. I'm not sure if this one works, by the way. I never noticed the 10% cooldown reduction. Never really noticed. Or this damage increase. It doesn't appear in buff bar as far as I know, but maybe it's hidden. Chest piece, we go for triple defensives. I like the damage that's, you know, damage with weapon swap. Goes well with Mortal Troglyph, I just showcased. We go with max HP, close DR, 45 DR. You could go with percent armor, but I was testing to go, like the cap for Nightmare 100 dungeons is 13,000 armor, give or take. I was testing with 10,000 and it was more than possible. No death rounds in tier 100. Because let's face it, it's a bit of a joke, Nightmare dungeons. So I went well a bit dangerous here. We go with Disobedience, maxed out stats. On the gloves, we go with HotA, double swing, crit chance, and attack speed. This is the absolute best you can get for this setup. We go with Earth Striker because we weapon swap always for guaranteed overpower and increased damage as well. Tibalt Spill from Duriel. You know, 1 DR, maximum resource, you know, supports even more this build because of the max resource. You could go with normal pants. On aspect on those, I would again go with Iron Skin if you're using a unique chest piece. Or you could go with, from top of my head, I mean, you could even go for Anemia and put 200 Sword as an expertise for bleed. You might want to swap aspects though, because I believe only defensive is on the pants. But this is great damage increase. This is our generator as well. On the boots, we want triple rest with movement speed. This is the best thing you can get. I didn't get the highest rolls, but it's not too much of a biggie. You want to put definitely Ghostwalker since we're unstoppable. So we have non-stop movement speed, which scales once again the attack speed here. Amazing stuff. You want the rubies in there for HP, for overpower increased damage. Then we have 200 weapons. I go with a Limitless Rage here. You might want to go with Edge Master, like sometimes, but then again, like when you're engaging a boss, you always want to dash. You want to dash before the fight, so you're full fury. And you want to stack this Limitless Rage, so you can, you know, start with the big bonk. And we always start with HotA, then double swing. It's up to you though. Also for double swing, that's our Berserk refresher. We put Fury's double swing because our source vulnerable is the Vampiric Power once again to dash through. So we don't need that. We want to focus on stats as following. So all stats, strength, overpower, and damage while berserking. I believe my sword has that. These are the stats you want to focus on all weapons. That will be absolute biz. So yeah, I'm missing one stat on this one, but on sword we go with accelerating for more attack speed. As you can see, we're actually blasting with this attack speed, swapping the weapons. My sword here is missing the berserk damage increase, but it's whatever. We got Edgemaster on one hander. The other one we go with HotA increase, the 15%. Also, keep in mind, all stats are number 1 stat because it increases everything. So it means armor from strength, resistance is intelligence, which are very important. I am capped out in every single one of them. Willpower gives you more resource generation, which applies to anything. To this aspect for the ring, to weapon swap, legendary node, wrath glyph, everything. Right? And the dexterity gives you crit chance, also dodge. So first ring here, we go with crit chance, berserking resource, and last one will be max HP, but I go with vulnerable. I didn't get a drop for the other one. Unrolling Fury, single-handedly, hands down, best aspect for this build. I like it so much ever since season 1. Some of you may remember me from doing this build on season 1, but this is a bit different. Starless Sky, you can totally ignore this one, you don't need it. It just makes your life easier on long fights, but let's be honest, there are no long fights in this game. Maybe tier 100 bosses, like Butcher for example, that could come in handy, but you can just go with this one and put Bolt Chieftain on this one. Or if you want more Fury, you can go with Fury while berserking or from Shouts. Amulet, Banished Lord, the best you can get from Duriel. Core skill plus resource generation, overpower, crit chance. Crit chance is very low. It's the lowest for all, sadly, so we were missing 5% right there, which is pretty huge. But with multi draw, we have enough of crit chance anyway. For gems, you want to balance them out for your resistances. For weapons, you want to go with red ones for overpower damage increase. Expertise, already showed 200x. Also, this is a global buff, no matter what skill you use, no matter what weapons. And they have specific expertise for the weapons you use. So HotA, we have 200 mace expertise, and for double swing, we have 100 mace and sword. These two, so damage to stunt, or random proc to berserk, and then attack speed from killing CC'd enemy. You can also go Groundstone if you want instead of Iron Skin, but I'm not a fan of these skills that actually do damage, because all these skills like Ground Stomp, Rupture, Steel Grasp, they all eat Overpower stack, even these two. And before we engage in fight, we have 4 guaranteed Overpowers. Here you can see 2 or 3, something like that. Because it's Bonebreaker, it's the Glyph, and it's the Vampiric Powers. So you have 3 guaranteed Overpowers. That's why when we engage, we can get actually 3 Overpowers. Like right there. Not right now because I wasn't stacked with Fury, but you know what I mean. Also for, you know what you could actually even do? You could even put Rallying Cry instead of Challenging Shout. Just don't go for Unstoppable. If you don't go for Unstoppable, it might actually be better. Just put points in this one and go like that. Yeah, 100%. In this case, I would probably want to get Bolt Chieftain. And I believe we did get Marshall in our first glyph here. Yeah. I was also doing the tier 100 clears before this video, kind of. The last thing I did was actually that, just to see how if we need some more defenses, because I am running not too high, like 43 close is amazing, healthy, and 45 is not that high either, bleeding, all DR. But it does stack well with Challenge Shout, which you want to use in tier 100 for sure. For Consumables, I like to use either max HP, or you could go for max resource. This is more like Nightmare Dungeons, and this is for bosses. That's why you can see me with so high Fury now. But you can easily go way higher than that. And in this scenario, with this potion, I would want to use Ramaladin, but I don't have one. Or a good one. And I believe that was pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, I will have the full planner on Diablo builds. So that will be in the pinned comment section. And if you have any questions, hit me up on Discord. I'm also streaming every day on Twitch, which will also be in the pinned comment. And until then, good luck with the gear hunt. Good luck with anything that you're going into. And until then, thank you for watching. Take it easy and peace out.